Hey, can you guys hear us? Okay, cool. So let's get started. Hi everyone, good morning. I'm Sahil Arora. I work as a program manager in Office 365 Groups team, where I take care of guest access in Outlook and guest access for Office 365 as a platform.
Hi, I'm Monica Bisla. I work as a software engineer in Groups team, and let's start it.
Yeah, sure. So first of all, thanks to all of you for coming over here and taking out your precious time. In next 20 minutes, we want to make sure that you all learn about guest access in Outlook and the IT admin policies which you can use to control guest access in your organization, so that information workers in your organization and you as an IT admin are in win-win situation.
Also, we'll be demoing some of these policies to show you how easy it is to manage guest access in Outlook groups. And we'll be also telling you about some of the advanced policies like guest lifecycle, audit logs, etc. We'll also tell you about other advanced sessions which you can go and learn more about guest access.
Okay, so let's get started. So this is something that we've been hearing today, starting from Satya's keynote session to various groups and team sessions, that teamwork is changing. It's getting more and more global, and it involves people who are outside your organization. In fact, as per statistics, 43% of American workforce is made up of contingent workforce. That means these are the people who work outside your company and they work with multiple companies at the same time.
Another insight here is that today workforce is getting more and more young people, and these are the people who use consumer apps in their day-to-day life. And according to a survey which we did before Ignite, 56% of people agreed that they won't mind using any shadow IT tools if their task was not accomplished by IT approved technologies, so, which is a pretty scary number.
Yeah. The good news is that we at Microsoft have solution to both of these problems. Guest access in Outlook let you collaborate with external people in a very simple and seamless way.
And our IT admin policies make it more safe and secure.
Okay. So before we get into deep dive, how many of you know about guest access in Outlook and been using guest access? Cool, that's a pretty nullish number. Okay, so I'll quickly tell for the people who don't know, guest user is essentially a user who is outside your organization. It could be a vendor, it could be a contract worker, or it could be even your friends and family if you have social groups in your organization. We've released guest access in Outlook for Outlook Web last fall, September 2016, and today millions of people use guest access for plethora of scenarios. Starting from parent-teacher collaboration in EDU world, working with contingent workers, planning for mergers and acquisition, working with partners, subsidiaries, guest access is used almost everywhere. With the universal identity of email, you can literally invite any email address on this planet, which is, by the way, half of the world population. And on the other side, this guest user can collaborate without any need to install app or client. They can just use their favorite email app or browser. I again just want to clarify that there is no need to install any app or client. They can collaborate right in from their email app.
Also, to tell you a little bit about guest access architecture. So whenever you add a guest in Outlook groups, be it a guest from some other organization or any consumer user from those 3.7 billion email addresses, the guest user actually gets added to the Azure Active Directory, which is the platform which we use for guest access. And this guest will work seamlessly with all the Microsoft apps and services like Microsoft Teams, OneDrive for Business, Microsoft Project, which also uses Azure Active Directory as their platform. So now Sahil will give you a quick demo of guest access in Outlook groups.
Okay, so let's get started. I hope demo gods are with me today. It's 7, right? Can you see my phone?
All right.
Now? Okay, cool. So right now I'm going to demo guest access in Outlook Mobile. So this is something that is work in progress. So whatever you're going to see right now is fresh out of oven. And we've already released guest access in web and Outlook desktop, which I'm also going to show quickly. So let's get started. I'm signed in as, okay, just give me a minute. Okay, yeah. So I'm signed in as Christy. She's the marketing manager for one of the Fortune 500 companies, and she worked with an independent contractor for designing her marketing content, Branda. She's a graphics designer, and she wants to collaborate with her. So she goes to Outlook mobile app. She selects the group that she wants to add, this guest user. She types in Branda's email address. So you can see, since he was collaborating with Branda over email, this email came into her suggestion, and the moment she clicks on adding this user, she gets this info that she's about to add a guest user, which is info that warning that we show so that the user is aware that they are adding somebody who's external. So you can see now Branda is added as a group member. She goes back to the group, she creates a review meeting. Let me select, made it for Friday, and sends this review meeting to the group. You can now see group has this message. So let's get into the view what Branda sees. Okay, you're able to see, right? So Branda is signed in her Gmail account, and she receives a welcome email that she's been added to this campaign and marketing group. She has all the information that she needs to collaborate with the group. She can access files, she can reply to this mail, and she can collaborate it over email. So let's see what she can do with files. So she clicks on this link. That link will take her to the sign-in page. So usually when you are a Gmail user, you need to go through a two-step redeem process where you create an MSA account and create a password. But if you are an Office 365 user or you are an Outlook user, you will be able to use our existing credentials. So let me, for this demo, I've already have created my MS account for this user. Just, okay. Okay, you can see Branda was able to access the SharePoint file. You'll see here that she signed in as her Gmail user. She can do all the stuff with files. She can upload a file, she can co-author, she can, yeah, you can see that she signed in as a Gmail user. She can upload a file, she can upload the artifacts that she's working for this thing, and she can do everything that a regular user can do on SharePoint, and interestingly all the SharePoint policies will work here as well. You can also see she received a calendar invite which she can add to her personal calendar so that she receives notification about this review meeting. Let's see, and then she can also reply to this group mail which will be received by all the group members. You can also see with every conversation there is a footer which contains all the information that she can use to collaborate, like leaving the group, learn more about this group, and accessing group files. Yeah. I'll also show you the web capability. So you can see this is the Outlook web, and you can see the group could receive this mail. You can add guests from Outlook web. You even have finer, filtering of the guest. You can see Branda, you can filter it and see that she's a guest. She has this globe icon, and the group has all the information indicating that this group contains guests. You also have this capability in Outlook desktop. You can go to add member, just type in an email address, gmail.com, press enter, and you will be able to add this guest user. So now you've seen the power of guest access, that how Christy and Branda could collaborate without any license, without any app or issue. So this is the power, and many organizations are using it. Now I'll move to Monica, and she's going to demo the power that IT admin has to control guest access.
Thank you, Sahil.
Yeah.
So before I get started with the policies, I would like to thank you all for giving us a great feedback this last year. And I would like to tell you that if you are an IT admin and you are still concerned about enabling guest access in your organization, we have tons of policies in place which you can customize according to your business needs to manage guest access in groups. So as you can see in this slide, there are two extremes. One where guest access is disabled and no one in your organization will be able to collaborate with these external users, right? And the other one is the default one where guest access is enabled by default and everyone in organization as a group owner can invite external people to the group. But what is the most interesting part is what lies in between. So as you can see, there are 4 blocks. These are 4 levels of policies which we have to control guest access in your organization. So the first one is the inviter level policy, where you can specify a set of people in guest inviter role and only those people will be able to add new guests in your tenant. The second one is the domain level policy. You can specify a list of domains as allowed or blocked domain list, and only from those domains people can invite guests from only either from those domains or those domains will be blocked. And the third one is the group level policy, where you can configure allow to add guest setting per group. So for a group you can disable it, for another group you can enable it. The fourth one is the IT managed policy, where only IT admins in the organization will be able to add guests. So essentially when you think about these policies, think about who can invite guests and who can be invited as guests. When you think in those terms, you can customize these policies around according to your needs. So let's get deeper into some of these blocks, and I would like to also demo some of these policies to show how easy it is to configure these policies. So first one is the guest inviter role policy. As I said, you can specify a set of people and give them guest inviter role, and only those people will be able to add new guests in your organization. And that can be based on their job designation, their role in the organization. That can be based on any AD property basically. So as you can see in the script, the first part of the script is getting all the users who have manager in their job title. And the second part of script actually adds guest inviter role to those users. So essentially what this script is doing is adding guest inviter role to all the managers in the organization. So in this organization, only managers will be able to invite new guests. Once you run this script, you also need to go to portal.azure.com and turn off the last 2 knobs, which are members can invite and guests can invite, so that only people who are in guest inviter role should be able to invite guests. Once you set that, this policy will take effect in your tenant. So I have already configured this policy for my demo tenant, and I would like to show you how it would appear to the end user in your organization. So let's go to a user, Amit Gupta. Amit Gupta is a marketing manager in this organization. So he goes to his group and tries to add a guest. He types in an external email address and he clicks on save button. Since he is a manager, he is already in guest inviter role. So he should be successfully able to add guests. So as you can see, this guest was added to the group and he'll start receiving conversations from this group. Now let's go to another account. This is Ellie and she is an assistant in this organization. So she does not have any permissions to add guests, but she doesn't know that. So she goes to her group and tries to add a person who is external to organization. So she types in an external email address and try to add her in the group. So as soon as she tries that, she gets this error that you don't have permission to invite guests. You need to contact your IT administrator. So as you can see, only managers in this organization are able to invite guests. So going back to the presentation, so this policy is available as part of Office 365 license, and you can configure it using AAD PowerShell, as I said, and all these instructions are available online. So let's move on to the next one. The next one is to control who can be invited. So you might have partnership with some organizations and you might want people in your organization to invite guests only specifically from those organizations, for example. So you can specify an allowed domain list by specifying the domains of the organization who you want to collaborate with. And people in your organization will only be able to add guest users from those domains. Similarly, you can specify a list of block domains, and people won't be able to add guests from those domains. And to make your life easier, we have provided this Microsoft signed version of script, which is allowed in ipolicy.ps1, which is available to download at TechNet. And with a single commandlet line, you can actually configure either allow list or block list for your tenant. For example, here I'm just enabling an allow list for this tenant, and I'm specifying gmail.com and contoso.com as allow list. And with this single command, I'm able to configure this policy. Also, you can use this script to migrate your already configured SharePoint policy to Outlook groups. So you can just provide this switch, migrate from SharePoint with this PowerShell script, and it will take your SharePoint policy and copy over into Azure B2B. So I have already configured this policy for allow list for gmail.com and contoso.com in my demo tenant. So let's see what happens if people try to add a person from some other domain. For example, Amit Gupta here tries to add a person from yahoo.com who is not in the allowed domain list. So he types in an email address which was not from an allowed domain. And he tries to invite this person to this group. So he gets an error saying that your organization does not allow guests from this domain, so you cannot add. Even though Amit Gupta was in guest inviter role, he cannot add a person which is not in allowed domain list, which is pretty cool. So this policy is available as part of AAD premium license, and it is right now in public preview for GA. Moving on to the next one. The next one is the group level policy. So I understand that in your organization, you will have some groups which are highly confidential, and you don't want anyone to be adding external people in those groups, right? So you can configure allow to add guest policy per group level. And how you do it is through Azure AD PowerShell. You create a setting template and specify the value of this policy called allow to add guest, and then you apply this setting template to the target group. As soon as you do that, this policy will take effect. So in my demo tenant, I already have configured this policy for one of the group, which is called FR Cloud Summit, and I don't want anyone to be adding guests in this group. So I have disabled allow to add guest policy for this group. Now Amit Gupta doesn't know about it, and he goes there and types in a guest email address. As soon as he types in the email address, he gets this error: before you can add guests to this group, please contact your IT admin, because no one in this group can add guests because it is disabled by IT admin on a group level basis. So even though he is in guest inviter role, even though this user is from one of the allowed domains, but since this policy is disabled at group level, you cannot add any guest in this group. So all these instructions are already available online. And I will also like to tell you something which we are currently working on, which is called label-based classification, where when you create a group, it will get a label. Like, you can specify different labels. For example, a group can be highly classified or medium or low classified group, right? And for some of these, for all these labels, the policies will be pre-configured. For example, if you have highly classified group, we'll disable the guest access by default, which you can change, of course, but for your ease, we have made these policies pre-configured. And to learn more about this, you can attend a session on Friday morning, 9 a.m. Okay. So now I would like to call Sahil to discuss more about advanced policies to control guest access.
Yeah, thanks Monica for these amazing demos. One thing I want to call out is that all of these policies are at Azure B2B level, which means all these workloads like Teams, Planner, Project, they are going to inherit this policy. So you just apply it for one Azure B2B, it will light up for all the workloads. I'm quickly going to cover guest advanced policies. The reason that these policies are called advanced policies because they are part of AAD premium license, and for the people who are interested, I would recommend to attend a session on Thursday which talks about in a deep dive manner. Okay, the first one I'm going to talk about is guest expiry. Typically in an organization, when a guest user is invited, for a designated task and for the limited time period. One of the big concerns that IT admin has that what would happen to these guest users once this designated task gets over. You can set up this guest expiry policy which would require group owners to review this membership on a period basis, and you can customize that period. You know, you can keep it 180 days, 120 days based on your requirement, and then this group owner will receive an email, and this group owners can choose to extend this membership, they can decline, or they can even ignore, they won't even take an action. In last two cases, the guest will automatically be removed out of the group, and it can be later cleaned from AAD directory as part of this policy. Another thing I want to cover is audit logs. Today, every guest invitation, guest user accessing any resource, guest user sign in, it's all tracked at Azure B2B level. Its data is available in portal.azure.com. You can see all this logs. You can even write custom rules on top of it. For example, if you want to disable this individual guest user sign in based on number of times he signed in, you can even do that. This is also available through third-party API. So if you want to make custom dashboard for your organization, you can make that using this data. Again, these sessions for deep dive, attend this session, breakouts 3013 on Thursday. Since now we are closing this session, I would like to call out few things. First is try out guest access in your organization. There are many organizations using it, making most out of their Office 365 license. Feel free to reach out to us. We'll be more than happy to help you to onboard your organization. Even after Ignite, you have our email addresses. You can take our business card. Just feel free to reach out to us. Come to Office 365 booth. If you have any feedback, any question, how does it work with SharePoint, how does it work with Team, we'll be happy to answer. And attend these set of group sessions. Specifically the one we have with Azure B2B, like ensure users to have right access, which is Thursday 12:30. That's an important session.
Also, I would like to add another thing, that change is inevitable, and today collaboration space is changing. It is becoming more open. So we are here to help you embrace this change. So if you have any concerns or any feedback about this feature, please do reach out to us. Take our business cards. We would be happy to help you. Even after Ignite, you can send us an email. So thank you for your time. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Yeah.